Hi, I just watched your video, recent video about the WikiLeaks, Hillary's emails and all that about, back in 2014. And I have some pertinent information as far as the timing of NIBERU. And I'd like to back up. In 1988, I was in Texas, and it was around the middle of February, and the angel of the Lord came to me and took me out uh, into the West Coast on 7 Open Visions. My name is Donald Taylor, also known as Joshua Taylor. Anyway, past, present, and future were all one timeline. Anyway, there were 7 visions, and in one of the, I remember when the vision started, I was standing in Port Angeles and waiting to catch the ferry to Victoria. I was sent by the word of the Lord to return to my own country from Texas. And it was dark out. I noticed that the water was cold. Uh, for that time of the year, there's ice crystals on the water. And yet, when I got off the ferry in Victoria later that afternoon, later that morning, the afternoon was hot. So extreme differences between cold and between temperature difference between the day and afternoon, early day. But what I'd like to mention, brother, is that at the time I was walking in full revelation knowledge. I knew everything at a glance. It might have been after the 23rd of September 2017 when we come into the manifestation of the sons of God when Revelation 12:5 comes into pass. Anyway, I was standing on shore there. It was dark out. The ferry hadn't come yet. And in my spirit, I knew that it was exactly at 5 o'clock in the morning. And it was like I just knew it was very, very, very strong. I knew it was dark out. It was exactly 5 o'clock in the morning. And I did some research on that as far as sunrise. Oh, and about a little over a year ago, the Lord brought to my brought to my memory a lot of things were hidden. I was given over 40 signs during these 7 visions. And one of the things that I saw, it was dark out. I was looking west across the Pacific from Port Angeles, and I remember seeing the early rays of the sun beginning to rise up. I didn't see the sun rise up. I just saw the early rays. Like you would on a summer day, and it was a clear sky, 5 o'clock in the morning. But it didn't click until about maybe 2 springs ago that that the sun was rising up in the west, and that may be indicative of a pole shift. And going ahead in the vision, I remember getting off the ferry just after 8 o'clock in the morning in Victoria. I went straight to the newspaper office, and I could clearly see all this. And I walked in there. The clock was 28 minutes after 8 o'clock in the morning. There's one woman in the front desk and two in the back. They're just finishing their Monday cup of coffee. And I knew that it was on a Monday. And so we have 5 o'clock in the morning. We have Monday, so that's can set the time in the season. And when I walked in there. I was dressed in black. I had a staff in my right hand, and I told him that God's going to be merciful, and He's going to send forth, cause a 7.2 or 7.3 earthquake to happen 20 miles west of Victoria, off the west side of the island. I came back there in the afternoon, and it happened exactly. But one thing that surprised me, when I mentioned it, I told him you need to get the warning out to the west side of the island, and for all the boat traffic to be taken to the east side of the island. And they were so paralyzed with fear. The fear out of 10 would have been a 7, and one more notch, and they would have been totally paralyzed with fear. I saw it in the face of the people. And over the last 30 years of thinking about this, I've went over these visions thousands and thousands of times in my head. Whatever caused the fear, it had to be more than what anything that was happening on the earth. There was something that had to be beyond the earth. And in my spirit, I knew that the hyperinflation, that the Canadian dollar was at 600% hyperinflation. So that's another key time signature. So you have it being dark at 5 o'clock in the morning. I saw the sun beginning to rise up in the west over the Pacific. Uh, and with the economy being at 600%, those are three key indicators as far as the exact window of time that God sent me to the West Coast to bring forth the warning. And I remember too, when you're in the spirit, you can see 360. Things that are happening in front of your face, but also around. And I knew that uh, Mount Rainier, Mount Shasta, Mount Baker, they're all in the process of blowing. And during the visions, during the 45 minutes that God took me into the spirit, not once did I look up into the sky except to, look up, across the Pacific to see the sun coming up. And I always wondered, what caused such massive fear. And this tidal wave that's going to hit, and I saw the exodus of people leave Vancouver Island. And when I was up over Vancouver Island, down toward the south end of Vancouver Island, I was up several miles, and I saw a wall of water that rose up that I knew in my spirit wasn't just 500 feet, it wasn't 1,000 feet. I knew that it was a quarter-mile high, 1,500 foot. And I know we're getting close. Um, I know that the pole shift is going to happen sometime in April. I don't know the year. I don't believe it's going to be 2017. I believe it may possibly be 2018. It would surprise me to be 2017 next year. And one of the visions toward the last, I was up in the spirit, and like the angel of the Lord appeared on my right hand side the first time in the vision, and the Lord commanded me to speak forth a destructive earthquake over the Pacific. And I remember looking up, seeing the face of the Father. I seen his heart. I seen the love that he had for the people, but I didn't see his mercy because the people were warned and they didn't listen. And it was later, right toward the end, when I was boarding the ferry from Departure Bay to come over to Vancouver, that the angel of the Lord appeared the first time. And I saw all these reporters, it was just getting dark, and I saw all these reporters, seeing all the helicopters leaving, dozens of helicopters leaving, taking off. It was dusk, and seeing all this reporters, maybe 60, 70 reporters, and the Lord allowed me to read their mind, and they had one thought, and and what the Lord showed me is that they wanted to know how much time. And the Lord turned. God said, keep this out of the vision, don't write it down. And the angel of the Lord said to the people through me, you have no time to sell your homes. So this has something to do with the economy, where the housing market gets so severe that you can't sell your homes in Vancouver. Anyway, I just thought to share this. I know it's getting close. And one more thing is uh, just before the warning was given, I was way up in the air, and I saw a convoy of vehicles stretching from the east side of Surrey all the way to Chilliwack. That's over 50 miles. When the head vehicle got to Chilliwack, the last vehicle was leaving. Over 50 miles of vehicles, and the Lord took me in, and I've seen every vehicle individually and also collectively, and the Lord took me in right in the middle of this 50-mile transport or convoy or exodus, whatever you want to call it. I've seen 5 miles of transport trucks, and they were all tarped. and I knew in the spirit that they had everything that they needed to set up camp. And in the last number of years, the Lord's been giving me technology as far as portable shelters, portable houses. I'm building them now. He's given me the blueprints to lay out, cities or town or communities of whatever size on any kind of land. And I just in the process of making a hexi-yurt, which is a portable hexi dome cabin that can be taken apart, and that's where I'm at now. And I believe that what was under the tarp has to do with these micro camps, uh, villages that the Lord has given me. I'd like to send you a manual once I get it done. But just sharing this, I believe the Lord gave me it took me just within weeks, maybe a month of the pole shift. As far as the timing, I know it's going to be April, sometime in April, maybe the early part of May. And, the economy is going to be at a place where you can't sell your homes, 600% inflation, the sun rising up in the west. And all these different signs that the Lord gave me. There is more, but these are the major signs. And just like thought to share with you. And the Lord put it in my spirit just to make this video and get it out to you. This is Joshua Taylor coming to you from here outside of Nanaimo, British Columbia. And hopefully this will help people to get off their butt and begin to prepare and take note at the survival technology the Lord has placed in my hand for his people. Thank you.